Alright, time for the why aren't flowers sold at a monastery solutions. So your assignment looks like this, and basically all you're doing is filling in these blanks with what letter corresponds to that. So if you look at number 1, we have some lovely steps for solving this equation here. They had, here they subtracted 16 from both sides. Well, what lets you subtract 16 from both sides is the subtraction property of equality, so that's going to be O. And right here, they didn't do like any extra operations there. They just simplified things, and so that's just going to be simplified, which should be T. On this next part, if you look at what's previous and what's happening next, they had these times by 9 on both sides. Well, what lets you times by 9 on both sides? That'd be the multiplication property of equality. So that one's going to be I. And then on the last one, notice how they just multiplied and simplified it. So that would be, again, simplifying here, which is T. If you move down to 2, on the other hand, here, on this first step there, they got rid of the parentheses by distributing that 5 through. And so that, what property lets you do that is just the distributive property, which is going to be E. On the next line here, they added 15 to both sides. Well, the property that lets you add to both sides is just the addition property, so that's going to be S. Here on this next part, notice how they didn't do anything additional except they simplified things a bit, and so it's going to be simplifying, which is R. Here, what's different from the previous step is they have this divide by 10 for both sides, and dividing both sides by 10 can only be done if you have the division property of equality, which we do. So that's going to be O. And then the last one, just going between that step before to the end, it's just more simplifying. So I'm going to put simplifying down again. If you get down to the bottom part, here they took the beginning line and changed the order of what's in the parentheses there. That, what lets you do that is actually the commutative property, which is S. And then they change where the parentheses is. If you have all addition and you have parentheses, you can change the order of, change where the parentheses are. And the one that lets you do that is the associative property. So that's going to be E. On the next part, they did some simplifying there. So that'd be F. Going from this step to this one, combining what's in the parentheses to get rid of them. And then here what they changed is there's now a subtract 7 on both sides. What lets you subtract from both sides is the subtraction property of equality, which is T. And then they didn't do anything additional on the next step except simplify things out, and so this is just going to be simplified. Here, there's a new operation going on, which is division. They're dividing both sides by 5. And what lets you divide both sides by 5 is the division property of equality. And then the last step there is just simplifying some more, which is F. And so that's what we're going on there. And I think, actually, yep, oops, right here I made a mistake. Here, that shouldn't be so big. This one's actually not going to be technically simplifying. It'd be combining like terms because we're combining the variable terms together. So that should be I rather than F. I'm sorry, guys. Oh, and then the bottom part here, they got rid of the parentheses. And how you get rid of parentheses is distribution. So they distribute that -3 through, and that distributive property is A. And then on this next step, notice how there's no more multiple terms with T. They combine them, so they combine like terms there. Oops. On the next step here, notice how there's an additional like +6 on both sides. Well, the property that lets you add 6 to both sides is the addition property of equality. And then they simplified things down, actually did the addition, which is going to be R. So that's simplifying. Here they added dividing by -4 on both sides. What lets you divide both sides by -4 is the division property of equality. And then on this last step, it's just a matter of simplifying that previous one. So it's going to be R. And if you take all of those previous letters and you write them out here, there should be an R. You're going to get to prevent florist friars. Right, so why aren't flowers sold at a monastery is to prevent florist friars, which, if you know what a friar is kind of funny. You also have to know what a florist too, and the fact that it's a plain words. Anyway, so I hope this was helpful and that you totally get the joke now.